All right, what is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to the KC Sports Report. Michael Darcy, your host here as always, and tonight I have the luxury of being joined by my friend Joey Segura, and I'm recording this at 810 Sports Radio, and we're going to break down the Kansas City Chiefs' recent free agency moves on a late Monday night, March 14th. So, Joey, before we get into the recent free agency moves and decisions that the Chiefs have made, I kind of want to give you the backstory and just the rundown of how my night has been. So, it was like 9:30, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to go up to 8:10 and record something about how the Chiefs were considering restructuring Frank Clark. As I pull into the station, I see that the Chiefs give a 3-year, $31.5 million contract to safety Justin Reid. So instantly, my mood goes from kind of pissed off to happy. And then as I sit down and get ready to record the Justin Reid video, the Chiefs decide to extend Frank Clark. And right now, my mood is teetering from angry to pissed off to almost screaming at the top of my lungs because I cannot believe the Chiefs did this. But this is the most Brett Veach thing to do. But, you know, I don't want to get too much ahead of ourselves. First of all, what are your thoughts on the Justin Reid signing, and, you know, what do you think it's going to do?
So I'm not going to try to sit here and act like I know a lot more than I really do. I don't know the safety market that well, but I've done some research on Justin Reid. He's a good young player. He's shown potential, and there's a belief among the league from what I've seen that Tyron is looking for $48+ million total and about $30 million guaranteed. We gave this dude $30 million with $20 guaranteed, and he's 4 years younger, basically 5 years younger. I like it. It gives them flexibility when it comes to spending money. You downgrade, but you get a very solid option for a lot cheaper than you would have Tyron, and I think that's worth it.
Well, and here's the thing. Justin Reid is 25 years old. He had 4 years with the Texans. He had 315 total tackles. I think this is a good value signing. Now, it's not somebody that is going to be elite by any means, but he could turn into be a pretty good safety. And I think, you know, he's a strong safety. I think the Chiefs might try to put Juan Thornhill in that hybrid role, which they were going to do before they signed Tyrann Mathieu. So I think that's a really good thing for Juan Thornhill and his career. But the Justin Reid signing is fantastic because if you average it all out, he's making $20 million guaranteed, 31.5 over 3. But if you average it out by year, $10.5 million a season is actually less than the safety franchise tag, which is a fantastic deal. Like, the Chiefs could not have done anything better. And I like this move. I think that it is not a low risk, but it's a guy that's going to go under the radar, but could be a pretty good player in the future. I like this one a lot, and I think he's cheaper, he's younger, and he's probably got more left in the tank. No, he has more left in the tank than Tyrann Mathieu does.
And I think the thing is, too, he's an athletic specimen. Like, that's the one thing everybody's been saying about him is this dude's just an athletic freak, right? So he's a ball hawk. He gets around. He does plays. And I feel like the thing they were lacking a lot of it last year, in my opinion, was we didn't have a big guy in the secondary, if that makes sense. Like, there was not one dude who was a person I would say is a literally big individual. And you get a 6'1" dude who's a freak athlete. He can move around the field really well. I love the signing just because you keep a sense of versatility that we had with Tyrann. Obviously not to the same extent, but he can do a lot of things.
When he's 25 years old, I'm going to take the inexperience, but I'll also take the cheap contract. And I think, you know, when it's all said and done, I actually just saw this on Twitter, that the Chiefs actually never offered Tyrann Mathieu a contract extension, which that might have rubbed him the wrong way, but I think that the writing was on the wall. He knew that the Chiefs could not afford to bring him back, and I think he's going to go somewhere and get a pretty big bag of money. And I hope he does, and I will always be grateful for what Tyrann Mathieu did for this city. I mean, he was part of the first championship in 50 years. He was the captain of this defense, and honestly, I don't even think this is much of a stretch. I think he's the best free agent signing in Kansas City Chiefs history, and I don't really think it's that close.
He's up there for sure. I mean, look, he was the first team All-Pro, twice here in 3 years. He was the leader of the defense. He came in and did everything he was asked, not only from a playing point of view, but he also changed the entire mentality of that locker room.
He changed the culture. We needed a culture change, and that's what Tyrann Mathieu brought. And I think, everyone talks about how he's declining on the football field, and while that may be true, this man is culture. Like, wherever Tyrann Mathieu goes, expect that kind of team to get a guy that is going to have that veteran experience and somebody that could quite literally turn a defense around. Because I give Tyrann Mathieu a lot of the credit for what he was able to do with this defense. And although they were never elite, this defense would not have been the same without Tyrann Mathieu.
No, not at all. I mean, he what he did in Kansas City is always going to be remembered here. He's a guy who, even though his stint was very short, he's a legend.
I think his name will be in the Ring of Honor. And I know you disagree with me, but I think when you look at the numbers and you look at how important he was to that championship team, a lot of other guys that have done less have gotten in. And I think Tyrann Mathieu is deserving.
And I disagree with it because I don't think it's going to happen. I have no problem with him making it. I personally want him to. I just kind of think, by the way the Ring of Honor is, I think it should be a more exclusive club, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, I think I might have just lost you there for a little bit, but we heard what you had to say. I think really quickly, just to recap the Justin Reid thing, 3 years, $31.5 million. He had 7 total interceptions over 4 years. I think that he's a guy that definitely doesn't get a ton of interceptions, but he's always around the football. And when you have those kind of guys, eventually they'll start to get picks. And I'm not even really worried about the interceptions. It's just how good can you be in coverage. And from what I've seen in the short amount of tape that I have seen on him, he's pretty good in coverage. And that's what this Chiefs team needs. And the 315 tackles, it's a really good value signing. And I think it's one the Chiefs really hit out of the park. But, with that out of the way, let's talk about the subject that I personally am dying on the inside to talk about. And that's the Kansas City Chiefs extending the contract of Frank Clark. Now, there was talks that the Chiefs were trying to do this yesterday. I thought it would take a lot longer for them to kind of materialize a deal. But no, Ian Rappaport retweeted out that the Chiefs are extending Frank Clark. They've reworked his contract to stay in KC. The new deal is 2 years, $29 million base salary with an upside to $36 million. I think when you look at this contract, there's definitely some financial gymnastics they're going around. I think that this move is probably going to allow them to save money when they cut him because the dead cap, or you know what I mean? Like there was a dead cap issue, but
the dead cap would have been huge.
But if they cut him post June 1st, it would have been like $19 million. Like my problem is not with the money you gave him. My problem is that he's back with the team. That's my problem. We don't need Frank Clark on this team anymore. And if this is their solution to the pass rush, my God, we are in trouble.
So here's my take on it. I have been a little bit of a Frank Clark defender in the past. I still think he's a solid player when healthy. When healthy is the key term there. But if you look at the numbers, if we had cut him pre-June 1st, we would have saved only about $1 million more than we did by doing this now. So I think the way Brett Veach viewed it is one, we like him when he's healthy. He adds a sense of continuity. He's been here. He knows the system. And 3, I think the most important
Whoa. Really quickly, I just got some breaking news that former Chiefs cornerback Trevarius Ward intends on signing a 3-year deal worth up to $42 million, including $26.7 million with the San Francisco 49ers. I told you he was going to get paid. I literally told you he was going to get paid. My God, that's a contract.
That sucks. Oh, good for him. Good for him. I wanted Ward back.
Really? He's making $14 million a season.
Yeah.
What did I tell you?
Yeah, me and Michael got into this argument a lot. That makes him about a top 10 highest paid cornerback in football.
Wow.
So, great player. Good for Charvarius Ward. I've always liked him. But, man, $14 million is an overpay.
Why is all this happening at 11 o'clock at night? Like, why couldn't they have done this midday? Wow.
That's crazy. I can't believe that.
I told you he was going to get paid. Like, I'm sorry to just completely get off the Frank Clark train.
No, well, now we kind of have to, because this is going to affect our team as well. So,
wow.
That's a lot.
They paid Trevarius Ward $42 million with $26.7 guaranteed.
That's $14 million a year. That's
I
crazy.
literally told you that they were going to get a contract north of $10 million. I was expecting like 12 to 13.
Michael was correct on that. I was very adamant. I did not think he would sign more than $10 million. I was really wrong on that. Damn, that's a fairly big loss.
So this is all coming on the fly. I don't know where that would put him in the cornerback market.
I think when we did the research, it's top 10 now, or at least top 15. I know that.
What a night for sports!
This is.
My goodness.
That's wild.
They overpaid for him. My God, they overpaid for him.
Oh, absolutely, they did. But that's just kind of how free agency works. You overpay for dudes to just get them, and then you kind of worry about it afterwards.
But really quickly, props to Trevarius Ward. Like, that man got a bag.
Good for him.
He got a bag.
He deserves it.
Yeah, and he was an undrafted free agent. I wrote about it on KCSportsReport.com. He deserves every penny. Every penny.
Absolutely. Great player, great dude. That's great for him. So that's, like you said, to go from undrafted free agent to how much guaranteed was it?
26.7.
Man, that's crazy. That's great.
I can't believe that. The fact that this all happened live too, like you can't make this stuff up. But that's going to leave a hole for the Chiefs to fill, and I think obviously we're going to have to address that need in the draft. But I think there's going to be some veteran corners out there that you're going to have to go scoop up for like a 1-year deal, because Justin Reid is a fantastic addition to the secondary. I think he kind of gives you that safety stability, which is what I was banging the table for. Honestly, a little bit even more than defensive end, because I thought if Tyron was going, you needed a replacement, and they got that replacement. Now, the pass rush is still a major concern. I think we might see a Zadarius Smith signing soon, or maybe a Von Miller or somebody big. But, wow, the Trevarius Ward signing took me completely off guard.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy.
It is insane. Like, I can't even believe that.
That is a lot of money. Damn, this is all.
So, I don't even really know where to go from here. I think my Frank Clark hatred kind of got watered down from the Trevarius Ward news, but I think that overall the Justin Reid safety signing was definitely one of the better ones the Chiefs have made recently. Yeah. Now, he's not going to be better than Tyrann Mathieu, but I think the Chiefs are banking on that upside, and with his age and with the really dirt cheap contract that they got him on, you really can't do much better. Because a Marcus Williams or a Jesse Bates, they're going to command, like, I'd say $17 to $18 million a year.
And you and I have had this discussion a lot before. I think my biggest problem with Chiefs fans is I feel like a lot of our fan base expects us to be elite at every position, specifically the running back position. But that's for whatever. And this is proof that, no, if you have a group of solid players, you are just like this Justin Reid. He might never become a star in Kansas City. I'm not saying he can't, because the potential's there, no doubt. But it's just you're signing a solid football player, and you got him for cheap. Like you said, that's the key. We got him for under the tag.
Yeah.
So you're getting a good football player on a great contract who's young for 3 years. That's a great deal for Kansas City. It's been a crazy night for Kansas City sports. Really, it has.
Honestly, I think I'm going to bottle up my Frank Clark opinion and wait for Josh Fan, because he's a Frank Clark hater, and I'd be very interested to see what he's thinking right now.
He's a good signing, dog.
He might be on suicide watch. I'm not too sure. Josh, if you're watching this, I hope you're okay.
But, like, if we don't want to talk about it, we'll get away from it. But the last thing, the edge market is drying up extremely fast.
It's terrible. That's the problem.
That's why we're bringing him back, though, because the Chiefs are looking at it as if you cut him, all of a sudden, granted he's not great, he's whatever, but you have no other option. You're going to have to basically pay another edge rusher who's going to be about the same talent level that he is, and you're going to have to pay them, but they don't know the system. So you might as well just say, F it, we're going to take him, we're going to take Clark, we're going to restructure, and for all we know, he gets cut next year, like you said, with the dead cap thing, and they didn't want to make it as bad. But I think at the end of the day, they saw a guy who wanted to be in Kansas City, a guy who has the potential to still be a productive player. And they said, that's just great for us. We're going to have to do it with how bad the edge market was. I'm sure if it was better, that he would not be back. He would have just been cut.
I don't think that solves the problem, though, because you're going to have Frank Clark as your...
No.
If he's your number one pass rusher going into the season, the Chiefs can kiss their Super Bowl hopes goodbye. Like, I'm sorry. The Chiefs cannot expect to go to the big games with this AFC West now without good pass rush.
And I agree with you, but I also think that this year they might just be out of luck with the way the pass rush kind of fell. Because teams aren't really shopping around pass rushers right now. The free agents for it, like I just said, are not that good compared to Frank Clark. Like, there's some that might be better, but you're going to have to pay them more than you would Frank Clark, so it's really not worth it. And in the draft, it's great to scoop one up, but do you really want a rookie being the number one pass rush option on your championship team? You know what I mean?
If he's good,
so,
yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, but just the odds are that that's not going to happen. I mean, they can. We saw Nick Bolton, we saw Creed Humphrey, all these guys who came in year one. But I think Brett Veach didn't want to just solely have to rely on the draft, and this is just where we are.
See, I'm banking on the Chiefs trading for a pass rusher or signing a Zadarius Smith and hopefully adding back Melvin Ingram. But I think that they're probably banking on the depth in the draft, and that kind of scares me. But if there is one thing that I am happy about, it's the Justin Reid signing, because now you can go into the draft and draft a late-round safety or more. You're going to need more cornerbacks now. But yes. I think that gives you the flexibility to do other things. So that's my highlight of the night. And actually, no, my highlight of the – well, no, it's Justin Reid. My second highlight of the night is Trevarius Ward. Him getting that bag is really good for him. And my low light is Frank Clark. And I'm sure we'll talk about that in depth when I know more information, because this is all coming off the top of my head. But, wow, what a night for football. What a night for Chiefs fans. Like, so much stuff has happened. Brett, I would say that if you're going to do more moves, can you do them maybe midday? But besides that, I don't really have too many complaints besides Frank Clark.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just nervous now about cornerback depth without Ward, considering Snead and Benson are 1 and 2 now. It makes me a little worried, but, we'll figure it out. I trust Veach.
Well, in Veach we trust. We kind of have no other choice now, but I think he's made some good moves in the past, and I think the Justin Reid one is definitely a good one. So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching this video. More videos to come in the next couple days. As free agency goes along, there's a lot more guys that could get signed. I think that the wide receiver market's going to go insane tomorrow. But until then, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.